mention them because they're heavily invested in this season following the James Harden trade at the trade deadline. And they are 19-6 when Harden is in the lineup, but they've struggled defensively. And they've made an interesting decision. They are sitting three starters tonight in Atlanta. They are basically trying to manipulate things to make sure they stay away from the Celtics and on the Pistons side of the bracket. The Knicks helped them getting that comeback win last night, really putting them in position. So the Cavs think that their pathway forward is to go down the pathway of the Pistons, who frankly have been playing very well down the stretch of the season. So I think Cleveland has the talent to do it, but if they don't improve on defense, it doesn't matter how many points Donovan Mitchell and James Harden score.
What do you think, Cavs?
I'm just laughing because we're going to have Brian and Vince going rock'em sock'em robots with the Cavs and the Pistons in the second round because that's where this is headed. I mean, look, you have to say the Cavs are the only other team that can really be in the mix, right? You would have maybe said Philly, obviously with Joel Embiid out there, not making a run now. Charlotte's had a great season. It's hard to imagine they're going to make a run when they haven't made the playoffs. So the Cavs are the one team you could add to this mix and say maybe they're good enough. But to Brian's point, their defense has been awful for months now. Like, they have to be much, much better at that end of the court. And by the way, Donovan Mitchell has been banged up in the playoffs the last couple of years. He's been dealing with a bunch of stuff down the stretch. And Jared Allen's had a knee issue for a while. If those guys are not right, yeah, they might want to play Detroit. But if they're playing Detroit with a healthy Cade Cunningham and with the Pistons ready to go and those guys aren't right, they're not winning that series either.
All right, if you watch Get Up, you know we love puns. We love wordplay. And we'll try to do backflips to get a segment.
I'm a little nervous.
We've got a segment, get this, called Convince Me with Vince Goodwill. Vince, put on your lawyer hat.
Keyword being con.
What is con? That's good. What's the first point you want to convince us of?
Hey, you cannot play with the playoff guys. Or we were talking about Cleveland manipulating themselves to play against the Detroit Pistons. If you are a team that has questions about size and toughness, who do you not want to play? Those hungry dogs in Detroit, and telegraphing it to them that we want to play you. I understand not wanting to play Boston, but why, oh why would you tell J.B. Bickerstaff and the team that operates out of spite that you want to play them? Shout out to Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren because they are licking their chops at Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
All right, give us another one. What's something else you want to convince us of?
Well, is this the first round one or is this the 58 games one? Either way, I got takes for you, right? The first round playoff series, guys, has been 7 games since 2002. We need to go back to first round best of 5. Remember Dikembe Mutombo cradling the ball over his head? Remember Michael Jordan doing the fist pump in Cleveland? Sorry, Wendy. Why are we wasting our time with these 7-game series? We're talking about shortening the season. We got the play-in.
That's why.
Best of 5.
Money.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
I would love to go back to 5, but unfortunately, money is why it's not going to go back to 5.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Why do they play best of 7 in the NBA? Do you know?
No, why, Wendy?
Because they can't get away with best of 9.
or 11, or 13, or 15.
Give us one more here. And I was here for the Craig Elo talk. What else you got?
65 games, guys. It has been the bane of this NBA conversation for the last several weeks. I have no problem with 65 games. Attendance matters. If you didn't go to school, they called your parents. Not that I would know, because I showed up to school all the time. But my proposal is 65 games stays for MVP, and it also stays for All-NBA first team. But can you get to All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team? I think you can do that. I think there's a way to, quote-unquote, split the baby here while not penalizing the greatness of NBA players who just so happen to have an injury or two.
Okay, Tim, your response to that?
I mean, again, we're just trying to get Cade Cunningham on the Pistons.
Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama. Let's not.
Look, here's what I'll say. There's been a lot of criticism of the 65-game rule, understandably, because of all the talk about who's going to be eligible for awards. At the end of the day, I'll go back to the Board of Governors presser a couple weeks ago. What did Adam Silver say? Adam Silver said the rule is working and stars are playing more. And because of that, while I think it's an interesting idea, I don't think the league is going to be changing the rule.
Wendy, what are your thoughts on the whole 65-game threshold? And then what Vince is saying, maybe loosen it up for the All-NBA second and third team?
It's easy to look at players who narrowly missed out and point to that, but what you can't quantify is the amount of star players that played games to get over the 65 games, and that's what the NBA is tracking. And Adam Silver's words and the league's actions indicate they like that ratio.
I like the rule too.
I
I like it. I don't
think
mind
it's
it.
fair. You know,
Attendance matters.
Attendance does matter. I will say this. And this is unrelated, I was watching the Nets and the Pacers last night at one point, and I didn't recognize a single player on the court, and I think that is what we're trying to
Are
avoid.
you a glutton for punishment?
The
Did you
star
not
of
have
that
anything
game
better
were
to
two
do?
That is
fans
a
arguing
tanking
with each other.
conversation. Yeah, that is a tanking conversation, which is a
That
much
is a
different
different
conversation
conversation than an awards
right.
conversation. Wendy, thank you so much. We're going to time on this show. We love that you watch it every morning here. I'm in for Greeny. I'm Peter Schrager. We got another hour of Get Up for you this morning when we start with our NBA guys, because we had a classic between the Knicks and the Celtics last night. A classic if you're a Knicks fan down there, down the stretch. Here, Tatum comes back. First time at the Garden since the injury last. Usually his game, but he was 3 for 3 on threes in the clutch in the fourth quarter. Alan Hahn spoke with heart after the game. All right, I'm here as a New Yorker, so I got excited about this game, but you could also say Jaylen Brown didn't play. Either way, Mike Brown last night got his team his 52nd win. Those 52 victories for head coach Mike Brown are the most by a Knicks coach in their first season with the franchise ever. That's more than Pat Riley in his first year in 91-92. We bring in Brian Windhorst. Windy, what's your takeaway from this game? I know Jaylen Brown didn't play, but the Knicks came up big when it mattered.
Yeah, first off, this is an excellent win for the Knicks. One of their best wins in a couple of weeks. And they were in trouble late in this game. Boston was hitting them with haymakers left and right, and they were able to persevere. And if you want to find a way to believe that the Knicks can make a deep playoff run, you watch the end of this game. From when Jalen Brunson, last 8 minutes of the game, forced a bunch of turnovers, the Knicks are built to win close games in the playoffs. And now, with this victory, they can say we were 3-1 against the Celtics in the regular season. None of those happened with both Tatum and Brown in the game, but that could be something to build forward from. And with this victory, they are very likely going to end up as the number 3 seed on the Celtics side of the bracket.
Tim, Vince, you guys were both in the building last night. There was no yeah, but feeling if you're a Knicks fan. What was the vibe in the Garden?
The vibe in the Garden was desperation, right? Like if you lost to a Jaylen Brown-less Celtics team, it doesn't take much for panic to set in on 33rd and 8th. I'm sure you're well aware of that. But in the locker room, I was very surprised at how subdued the players were. They didn't look at this as a we should have won this game. They looked at it as, oh yeah, this is just ho-hum. I think from the outside, we look at the Knicks and say they should be afraid of the Celtics. I think there is no fear amongst the New York Knicks. They shouldn't be afraid of the Celtics. They are built to beat the Boston Celtics with OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges. They have the wings that can defend Brown and Tatum. And let's not forget, this is important for me to point out, guys. Jason Tatum's injury colored how we looked at that series. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown did not cover themselves in glory and how they played against the Knicks. They shot 40%. They blew big leads. Why are we just automatically assuming that the Celtics will beat the Knicks when the evidence has said something completely different last May?
Interesting. Tim, I like the way that the Knicks have been playing.
Tim is smirking right now. He don't believe me.
I thought you were going to say I like the way Vince is talking about my Knicks.
I was going to say, though, like the way the Knicks are winning is a little different than it's been all season, and it's a sign for good fortune in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think in this game last night and in the win on Monday against Atlanta, the last 2 good wins the Knicks have had in a while, right? Those 2 games showed you the formula of what the Knicks are going to need to make the deep playoff run they want to. Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson working together. They had the most actions of the season. Playing well. Josh Hart had a great game Monday in Atlanta. Last night, those 2 clips at the end of the game, what did you see? You saw Josh Hart matched up with Nick Vucevic like he was right there. Knocked it. The Knicks have had one of the best offenses in the league. That is what the Knicks are going to see in the playoffs. Teams are going to dare Josh Hart to make shots. If he makes shots, if Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns are locked in, that's the formula the Knicks need to make the kind of playoff run they believe they can.
Peter, a quick note. In the locker room last night, both Karl Towns and Josh Hart talked about Jalen Brunson trusting us. I think that's a critical thing because if Jalen Brunson is the one option late in games, teams can not shut him down but give themselves better opportunities. If Jalen Brunson is spraying the ball around, that makes it easier for him for one-on-one matchups and for everyone else to stay involved and engaged. That makes them a more dangerous clutch team.
Feels like just yesterday they were getting blown out by the Hornets, and we were wondering what's up with this Knicks team. Windy, let's open it up a little bit. We know about the Pistons as the 1, Celtics, Knicks 2-3. What other team in the